Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. I am Hamza Idris. On this program, we present in-depth analysis of evolving political events and review critical government policies for national development. And on the program tonight, we go beyond the headlines to analyze the current security issues and the rising spate of kidnappings across the country. From Kebbi to Niger, Kano to the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria's thriving kidnapping spree is at an all-time high, with the country's seat of power, that is Abuja and environs, recording 15 incidents in the last 11 months. At least 61 people were kidnapped in and around Abuja from January to November 2025. The latest incident occurred on November 26 in Gidem-Bijimi, Ka ward of Buhari Area Council, where 6 teenage girls and a 16-year-old boy were taken away by bandits. This development comes amidst renewed commitment by the federal government in revamping the Nigeria police force. The Inspector General of Police said 11,000 police personnel attached to VIPs have been recalled in compliance with President Tinubu's directives. With all these commitments, when will Nigeria be free from kidnapping and terrorist attacks? Well, we seek to find answers to this and many more questions as the program unfolds. Before then, here is an update of the top political stories of the day.
The Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, has suspended Guinea-Bissau from its decision-making bodies following the coup in the country. The decision was made during an emergency meeting of the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council late Thursday. The MSC also condemned the coup, calling for the unconditional restoration of constitutional order and rejected any arrangement that subverts the democratic process or the will of the people. The council demanded that the military leaders respect the electoral process, allow the National Electoral Commission to declare results without delay, and release all detained officials. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has summoned the immediate past Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. The agency's invite was contained in a letter dated November 24th. Meanwhile, Malami has acknowledged receipt of the letter from the Anti-Graft Commission, promising to honor the invitation. As at the time of filing this report, details of the outcome of the EFCC's meeting with Malami are still sketchy. The Julius Abure-led faction of the Labour Party on Friday held a meeting of its National Executive Council at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja, where it reaffirmed the national officers elected at its 2024 National Convention in Nnewi, Anambra State. The meeting was attended by the national chairman, Julius Abure, former vice presidential candidate, Datti Baba Ahmed, members of the National Working Committee, state chairman and secretaries, as well as other co-opted NEC members. A monitoring team from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, led by Rakia Datijo of the Election and Party Monitoring Department, was also present.
And now let's set the ball rolling for the main conversation about the security challenges bedevil in the country, which is now affecting the nation's capital, Abuja. Our guest tonight is Dr. Paul Moses, a public affairs commentator in Abuja. Thank you very much for coming to the program.
It's so good to be here.
Good. And viewers, we will also open the telephone line for you in the course of the conversation so that you will also give your own take on the way forward. Once again, let me start by asking, what do you make of the heightened insecurity, especially in the last 2-3 weeks, across Nigeria?
Hamza, I mean, for somebody who has lived in the federal capital for almost about 4 decades, I have witnessed the...
40 years?
Oh, yes, about 40 years now. I've witnessed the corrosion of, of our security, down the drain, especially even here in the FCT. And today, as we speak, insecurity has become the greatest singular, challenge to our national cohesion as a country and the well-being of our people. And you just begin to wonder how and why, things have been allowed to deteriorate. We used to be, because I've traveled across 20 countries around the world. I've been to about 15 African states. And when I give lectures in Sierra Leone, in Botswana, in Liberia and different places, I'm reminded. As a matter of fact, I remember my last visit to Sierra Leone. The longest, most beautiful road in Sierra Leone is named after Abacha.
After Abacha?
And
How comes?
Exactly. And when I ask, coming with what we think about Abacha in Nigeria, I was told to be careful that I could be beaten, even though because they remember that it was during Abacha that, they got salvaged through ECOMOG, through our military. That's the image they have of Nigeria. So right now, it's really unthinkable the level that we have descended to. Some of these African countries cannot comprehend. A few weeks ago, I sat with the president of Rwanda, and the things, through the discussions and what I heard and what I was told, is really disheartening. And this is the realities of what we have come to hear. And the situation is not far-fetched from what's going on, but you keep wondering because it's all interconnected. The weaponization of poverty, our children have become, our young people have been allowed to wallow around without jobs, without direction. And I'll tell you straight, aside from any other thing, I think it has to do with a visionary leadership that will allow, that we're able to see, and channel this energy and be able to bring us into one cohesion. Because at the end of the day, like we were talking before we came to the studio, the founding fathers were very young people, but they could see clearly what the issues were. They knew that the colonialists were our problem. So it didn't matter that Nnamdi Azikiwe was an Igbo man. It didn't matter that Ahmadu Bello was from the north and Pawolowo. They came together and gave us independence. If you ask the average Nigerian today, what is the issue? What's the problem with Nigeria? They'll tell you it's PDP, it's APC, it's Labour Party. No, it's ADC, it's Peter Obi. No, it's Tinubu, it's Atiku. Oh no, it's Christian, it's Fulani headsmen. We are a bunch of confused people. They tell, oh no, it's the economic, no, it's our constitution. So you go through all of this and they're all connected. And I say that Americans practice the presidential system of government, but America is working. China is practically a one-party state, but China is working. Dubai is a monarchical system, but it's working. So when you look through this, America in quote is a Christian state, Dubai is an Islamic state, the other one, but they're all working. So you see, again, it comes back to the issue of leadership. What we're seeing with the insecurities is the breaking down of the economy, the weaponization of poverty. But at the end of the day, it's all linked to leadership, because the primary responsibility of a president, of a governor, of a chairman is to secure the livelihood, the property of the people. So it's really disheartening that the more we have reportage from the government in terms of, reaffirming their placement in terms of security, the more you see that we go, the more kidnapping, the more killings, the more, even in the federal capital here, even right here in Amak, because at the end of the day, security issues are local, like education, like health, like every other thing.
Which will actually get there. But something struck when you now said you traveled, and then some people, was it which country?
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. Okay, now saying you can't disparage Abacha.
Yes.
Because it was during his time that
they were secured.
They were secured. Yes. Now, back home here, we are not secured. And as you rightly said, Nigeria, had secured the life and property of millions of people across the continent. Yes. At what point do you think we actually got it wrong? That now people in our neighboring countries are really asking, because it's like they're also getting confused as to what is really happening in the big brother, that is Nigeria.
Yeah, incidentally, it was Abacha that says that, I can't remember exactly now, whether 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah, I have heard that several.
That if insecurity, I mean, I watched the clip.
So it's true he said it?
Oh, no, he did. There's a clip, he said it, that if insecurity persists within
certain hours,
it means that the government is complicit. I mean, we watch from the different eras of government. A popular president said that his government is being infiltrated with Boko Haram. That's what he said, you know. And this is where we are right now. And, you know, why wouldn't you wonder? Like I told you, I've traveled across the belt of West Africa. And it's really, it's crazy because they really cannot understand this big brother that is being dragged like a giant with its pants down. But again, you can see where the issues lie. You know, we are so fragmented when it comes to the issue of religion. We're fragmented when it comes to, you know, tribal issues. You know, we really get very touchy, you know, when you touch on the lines of, you know, political parties.
Fault lines.
Those fault lines. And we have political actors that keep driving and widening this gap. You know, and I would say it, I mean, right from, I don't want to make it political, but even when President Buhari came in, you know, this gap, you know, continued to be widened. And these are some of the things, coupled with the fact that the economy is not doing too well, because whatever reform and policy we talk about, if you talk about reform in security, whatever reform you talk about, if the people are not safe, that reform is nonsense.
Okay, people we have brought a number of experts. Is it retired police operatives, those in the service, is it DSS, is it the military, the politicians? Of course, you are also a politician, but then we're talking about now the real issues, because it appears millions of Nigerians are disconnected with what those who call themselves experts always come under. We give them space under this thing. Your area, you did your PhD, I think, in environmental
resource planning.
But and what people are saying now is, unless we get it right with our ungoverned spaces, no matter what we do,
we're not going to go anywhere.
You buy that?
Well, that is, I wouldn't want to debate theories. I would rather like to stay with the real fact and issues. And sometimes I don't want to say this, but it's true. Hamza, I've gone into the woods with millions of naira to help rescue people who have been kidnapped myself. You know,
they will come and pick you here, because they say paying ransom is not allowed.
When family people are taken into the woods, what do? Do you leave them there? I have gone into the woods. I have interfaced with some of these people. I've been beaten, you know, with gun butts, you know, but I'm here alive. It's a reality. I was one of those young people who helped in the reformation of Rwanda. I used to go to Rwanda a couple of times right after
the civil war,
the genocide, you know, that happened in Rwanda. And I never thought that one day that in Nigeria, people will even strap bombs, kidnapping people. Right here is happening. A few days ago, right here in the FCT in Buhari, people are being kidnapped. You know, I never thought that one day we will even be having these kinds of conversation on national TV. But again, back to the issues. This is not something to debate about. That's why I said, if we talk about security reforms, to what end is that reform? Because at the end of the day, the brunt of these issues come back to everyday Nigerian, the artisan, the farmer, the market woman. The everyday Nigerians are the ones that go through this. Because at the end of the day, the so-called leaders are insulated from the brunt of this. And the reason is because I will always go back to, it has to do with our leadership. During Abacha, we didn't see any of these things going on. So there was a time where Nigeria was safe, where you could travel across any length and breadth of Nigeria by road. But today it's practically impossible. And you have to go back to the issue, is the economy. because these things are linked. When people are hungry, when poverty is weaponized, this is what you see. When the economy is failing, in Abuja here, bread is 2,000 naira. Hamza, and I tell you, we have graduates who have no jobs, have nothing to do, and we're not finding leadership who can channel this energy. Because again, like if you drop, I live in Amak, for example. Amak does not even have a farm. Yes, I'm an environmentalist. My thesis has to do with agriculture. There are young people looking for livelihood, looking for, from ITC to agriculture to tourism to the creative arts. We're not having leadership who are channeling this energy, because you see, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. And until you have a leadership that has a visionary, approach to be able to tie all of this, because security is tied into the well-being of the people, is tied into all of these things they are tied into. And I'll say this very instructively, until also we have, I say this, that until we come to a place in Nigeria where, as I'm speaking right now, somebody is not looking and saying, okay, is he a Muslim or is he a Christian? He's trying to figure out where is he from so that he can know how to deal with him. Is he an Igbo or is he Yoruba? The day we come to a place in Nigeria where when you are talking solution, you're not looking at your tribe or your religion or your political party, then that is the day we'll begin to find that is the solution to Nigeria's problem. Because right now, when you catch a bandit, if it's a Christian or it's a Muslim, somebody in leadership is going to allow that to go free. If you catch a thief, a particular tribe is going to claim that thief. This is a debasement of where we have come to in Nigeria. And as long as we are at this level, it's going to be very difficult to move from where we are.
Some of us living in Abuja thought that it will not catch up with us. I'm talking about the banditry, picking people and all that. But then we have a timeline here because we've been following the trend. But then the trigger, which elicited this conversation, was what happened on the 26th of that's 2 days ago. That between January and now, we had at least 15 kidnapping incidents in and around Abuja. Meaning on the average, every month, you will have one kidnapping.
That's the recorded data.
Exactly. We are not certain about many that have not been reported. What do you think facilitated the incursion to the Federal Capital Territory? You said you've been here for over 40 years.
Oh, yes.
How cozy, how safe was Abuja, let's say 20 years back?
20 years back, yeah, I mean, it was pretty safe. And that's where you saw, because, I mean, the issue, these security issues have lingered for about 20 years now. And what you're seeing right now is the infiltration, because Abuja is bordered around these communities and these states that are going through this. So gradually, but that's beside the point. The real issue is the fact that we cannot continue to run a security architecture that is so centralized, completely devoid from the locals. Security issues are local issues. And I'm asking, taking the FCT, for example, who is the chief security officer beginning from the baseline? You should be talking about the AMAC chairman. Today, where is the AMAC chairman? Because sometimes we can focus on the president or the minister. But whether you talk about education, whether you talk about security, whether you talk about health or livelihood, these are the constitutionality, primarily, of the chairman. And so that's why I believe that we live in the age where AI can be deployed. We live in the age of technology. When you deploy technology coupled with the vigilantes and the religious leaders and the traditional rulers, bring it down to the local base, where you have somebody who is the chairman who understands the narrative of our conversation, then we can begin to talk. Hamza, I ask you, with all the things that are happening, who is held responsible? Because if we cannot separate the duties of the minister from the duties of a local government chairman, somebody should be sacked, somebody should be in jail, somebody should be held accountable. But when confusion thrives around the conversation of security, national issues, policies, reforms, and nation building, these kinds of things that we have will continue in Nigeria. Somebody must be accountable.
Now, who should be accountable? Because in Abuja, for instance, because everyone is getting agitated now.
Oh, yes.
You know that the mass infiltration was the product of failure to secure the subnationals.
That's right.
You're talking about people in Zamfara, people in Benue, people even in the southeast, people around Plateau and all that. And then the safest haven in court was hitherto Abuja.
Yeah.
But now here we are, because from our findings we said, okay, the incident spread across Buari, Gwagwalada, Abaji, Amak, and along the Abuja, Kaduna, and Abuja Lokoja highways involved prominent individuals, students, community leaders, and ordinary residents. They have all been abducted. Now, where is the missing link? Because we always ask that, okay, these are constituents, you know, they are local government areas in their own rights. And this is where these obnoxious activities are taking place.
Hamza, is worse than that. You see, Amak, for example, should be the safest haven of the country. Amak is
That's
like
Abuja Municipal Area Council.
This is like London. It's like you're in DC, or let's say you're in New York, or you're in Paris. The president lives in Amak. The minister is in Amak. All the diasporan embassies are right here in Amak. Most of the governors even run their states from Amak. Every person, dead or alive, that has contributed meaningfully or has something, you know, great to do with Nigeria, has something to do with Amak. Yet, people are dying in Amak. Yet, you see the connection. Children were out of school in Amak for months. And when I investigated, billions of nairas disappeared. I'm having to fix primary healthcare centers in Tungan Nasara, in Tungan Madaki, in some of the suburbs here. These are the issues. Amak is very expensive. Livelihood, food, multiple taxations. You can't even do business here. You know, the security, of course, which is a major thing that we're discussing. And they're all connected, because when people can't move, when people can't eat, when people can't do business, then of course, that by itself is the hotbed of insecurity. So it's not even so much as the infiltration we're having as the fact that we do not have a cohesive leadership that is tending to the issues that we're talking about right now. Because the economy, the energy of the young people, the channeling and dovetailing of the cultural values that we have been held here, that allows for cohesion of people regardless of their tribe and tongue. These are the kinds of things. It comes back to leadership. It comes back to visionary leadership. It comes back to understanding the people. It comes back to ensuring that people can do business. Today, if your car breaks down in city center, you're going to be in serious trouble.
Even in city center.
If right there in city center.
Whether during the day or at night.
At night, you're in trouble. But like I said, nobody is responsible. We need to narrow down to constitutionalities, to individuals, to the people. Somebody must be responsible.
Okay, a few days ago, President Tinubu announced the state of emergency on insecurity. Then a day after, the FCT minister also convoked a meeting with security agencies and all that. They spoke themselves, like the FCT commissioner. They said, okay, the minister has provided them with all the
necessary tools.
Yes, that they want in order to secure the FCT. As if the bandits were waiting for this, announcement. That was when now they went to Buari and then picked these young girls, aged between 16 and 22, according to some reports. So, is it rhetoric that we're actually witnessing, or is just panic as a result of, the outrage across the country?
I think it's all of them combined, and like I said, it's a leadership collapse and failure. this is what we are seeing. Everything rises, Hamza, and falls on leadership, you know. And this trend is very dangerous, very, very dangerous, because right now there is no safe haven, you know, in the entire country. If we do not have accountability, if we do not have transparency, if we do not have open governance system, where the architecture of both the economy and the security, people must be brought into, it has to be open system governance if we must find a headway with what's going on right now. This is why we cannot, we can't play with the issues that are going on. And you see, this is also interlinked, because while this thing is continuing, it's like if somebody comes to the studio right now and everything is shattered and upside down, you give room for people outside to talk to you anyhow. If I come to your house and your child is being mistreated, we're going to the neighborhood, the community are going to come and take care of, maybe you have some mental breakdown. And this is why you are saying, while I know that no nation on earth, nobody can determine the destiny of a people except they themselves. When our internal integrity is compromised, you give room for other people to come in. And this is why you're having the kind of commentaries that people are having on Nigeria. You can see what is happening in Guinea-Bissau, for example. The ECOWAS have come together and alienated them because something is wrong in their country. The same thing, should this insecurity persist, the moment people have lost hope in a country or in a nation, this is what you see. Is when people lose hope for where the next meal is going to come from, when people lose hope that they cannot find the trust, people can't trust the government anymore at every level. This is a result of what you're seeing, because all hope is lost. When people lose hope, what you see is anarchy, is brigandage, is kidnapping, is the level of this insecurity that you're seeing. And it's a very dangerous place we have. What must happen right now is that leaders must go beyond every parochial thinking. They must go beyond political parties. They must go beyond religious groups. They must go beyond anything else, tribal sentiment.
But how can they get there? Because look at it now. Whenever, for instance, the president, makes any pronouncement, you see, for instance, Peter Obi, for instance, he will say no. Atiku will say no. Instead of now looking at the merits of some of the decisions announced by the president. And if these key political leaders, I know you are also a politician, you belong to one of the parties, ADC, I assume. Do you think the president will ever get it right? If at every point in time he makes a decision. And I want to give you an example now. When he announced the state of emergency, I think it was Atiku, he made a certain statement. When the girls in Birnin Kebi, were rescued, he said it's not time for celebration because there was a failure of government. Where are the bandits and all that? So do you think the politicians are also in sync with one another in terms of salvaging the country?
I mean, I'm running under the ADC for the upcoming AMAC election that is coming on the 21st of February. Yes, but this is beyond politics for me. I've been here. I went to primary school here. I went to secondary school here. All my degrees
in Abuja.
In Abuja here. I went to University of Abuja. That's where I acquired my undergraduate, my master's, and my PhD. And when we have interactions in Harvard, in Oxford, maybe out of the eloquence and the intelligent, repertoires, they keep wondering whether, did you go to school abroad? I said, no, all my schooling was done here. Look, Hamza, what that means is that good can come out of this place. I've been everywhere around the world, but I'm deeply rooted here. And somebody who was, and I'm proud to say, primary school head boy, secondary school head boy, I understand.
But why are the politicians completely disconnected? Yes.
I don't think they're disconnected, and this is where we have to be objective and be fair also. When you read through Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's tweets, or you read through Mr. Peter Obi's tweets, they are offering solutions that I think the government of the day is not looking
Sometimes
at.
It's like the vilification.
No, I don't think so, because, and that's why I said that this is beyond politics. This is, I mean, this is our brothers and sisters being kidnapped. In my phone, I have over 1,000 people asking for food, for medical care, for rent, for all kinds of things right here in Abuja. This is not politics. I can show you as we're here. Calls are coming in every day. I'm spending money every day trying to... I told you, Hamza, go to Tungan Nasara. I went to Tungan Nasara. This is just in Guiwa, just behind the airport. 200 students, pupils and teachers, no toilet facilities. I had to plant one there. 2 years ago, I was in Tungan Madaki. Aisha Madaki is there. I'm calling names because I want what I'm saying to be verified. I went to the maternity ward, no toilet. The roof is broken. Not because this is very serious, because these are connected. These are health issues, education issues. These things we're talking about. So without opposition, and it's not even just about the opposition. We have a government in place that does not even want opposition. But that's beside the point. If people are dying and you put emergency on security, do you
agree with that?
What is the value of the emergency on the security?
What is your understanding of the emergency declared by the president?
What should happen was what I explained here. Somebody should be held responsible, Hamza. How can people...
Beyond the declaration.
Somebody should be losing their job. When we heard about the coup d'etat, some people were retired.
But they said it's beyond that. It's not about the coup. It's just a culture that after 2 years, 3 years, you change.
But people can be kidnapped and nothing is happening. In Abuja, here, people can be killed and nothing is happening. Anything can happen and nobody is responsible. I'm asking questions because I know that primary school, children are out of school. The responsibility is the chairman, but the chairman is nowhere to be found and nothing is happening. And the same people are going around again during election season. They are buying cars for people. They are dashing millions. The same money they should use for security, the same money they should use for education, the same money for health. This has nothing to do with opposition. We're talking about our livelihood. This is our life.
Okay, where do you belong in the issue of retrieving police from VIPs? Do you think it will happen?
I don't think it will happen. I wish it will happen. Because you see, and it's sad to say this, but if the kidnappings that are happening, if the son of some of the senators and ministers and president and vice president, if their children are involved, are we going to have the scenario that we're having? It's a simple question I'm asking. And if the president is listening, if the minister is listening, if the chairman are listening, if those in power are listening, if your children are part of those who are being killed, are we going to be having the kind of conversations we are having?
And you believe they are shielded because they are all the time...
Because it is, and this is why, again, Nigerians has to wake up. And when I say Nigerians, this is back to the people. Because... Hamza, you might not want me to talk about that, but I have to, because when the cycle of elections comes in, part of what is responsible for this, you see, garbage in, garbage out. If you play money politics is very dangerous. I say this because we're talking about security here. When we talk about nation building, when we talk about leadership, all of these things are rhetoric without politics. People need to get involved. Patriots in Nigeria need to get involved with politics.
And you are referring to across the country?
Across the country, across party lines.
I was shocked when the president announced that, okay, police will be removed from VIPs. But typical of us here, we always go for accountability. And when we check our records, we realize that, okay, since 2003, between 2003 and now, it's around 22 years or thereabout, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we had Tafa Balogu. He announced it. A few years later, in August 2009, we had IGP Obonai Onovo announcing withdrawal of police from VIPs. In 2010, it was IGP Hafiz Ringim. 2 years after, in 2012, we had then acting IGP Mohamed Abubakar. Repeating the same thing. And then Solomon Arashi, he also announced it in 2016. In 2018, it was IGP Ibrahim. We just have the...
There we go.
Okay, so why are people so excited when President Tinubu announced that, okay, this time around, we are going to, that was why I asked you earlier, do you think it will work?
I hope and I pray it works.
But you know, things don't just...
Yeah, because you see...
Before you have rain, you will have
you can see the history and the sequence of all of this.
Almost every IGP
Nigerians don't trust the leaders.
And we also have presidents announcing
Nigerians do not trust their leaders because Nigerians know that they are not going to do it. Nigerians are the easiest people on the face of the earth to lead because Nigerians also easily forget.
And we had the IGP yesterday saying around 11,000 have been withdrawn so far. But this is a text message now. Somebody saying it's like throwing a needle in the ocean. If you say that, okay, they have withdrawn 11,000. And he swore. He said he knows that over 100, between 100 and 150,000 policemen are still domiciled around the VIPs, businessmen, all those who can afford it. So now who is actually kidding in this conversation? Is it the president? Is it the IGP? Or we, the gullible Nigerians, who take things hook, like, and sunk?
At the end of the day, is Nigerians. We are very gullible. We don't remember things anymore. We do not hold our leaders accountable. But even more dangerous than that is the fact that Nigerians are giving up, even on themselves, because it makes no sense that as we are sitting in the studio here right now, some people are in the bush that are kidnapped. As
no hope of coming back.
Yes. This is the trust ratio. Nigerians don't trust their leaders. It's completely broken. And you see, Nigerians are also, you know, there was a statement that somebody made. Is one of the most statement that haunted me for many years. He said Nigeria is a place where the best never happens, but the worst never happens. So it's like we're in the limbo. We're just in the limbo. We're never going to go down, but we're never going to go up.
A kind of roller coaster. Okay,
Exactly.
Dr. Moses.
I believe that can change. I know that will change, but it's going to take a different kind of approach from the Nigerian people. The last order right now is the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people have to wake up. The communities have to wake up to take their life in their hands. This is the only way we can move forward, to hold their leaders accountable. And it begins from the community level.
All right, thank you very much. Viewers, we've been with Dr. Moses Paul, a social activist, and I'm an environmentalist. We will now open the telephone line for you to call and then give us your take on how do we drive this process to fruition. That is the withdrawal of the VIPs, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Detaching them from
the VIPs.
Exactly. Now, what is your take? How should President Tinubu go about it? Because we have listed a number of IGP since 2003, almost 22 years, up till now, still roller coaster, going like merry-go-round. All right, so we're waiting for your call, but go straight to the point and don't abuse. Now, they said politicians should now approach civil defense, but even civil defense, I think they are meant to protect critical infrastructure like power, you know, I mean equipment, you know, oil facilities and all that. Are we not creating another ditch for ourselves?
Governance is serious business.
Okay, and we have a caller.
Okay.
Yes, that was why I gave you enough time, so that because I know we'll get a lot of calls as we open the telephone line. Hello, welcome to Daily Politics.
Hello, is that Trust TV?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics.
Yeah, well done for a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening to your guests.
Okay, Dr. Paul Moses, yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I want to go straight to the point.
Okay, we will appreciate that.
Yeah, take it or leave it. Yeah, take it or leave it. They will never withdraw them. They will never withdraw the police from the VIPs in Nigeria.
Why are you so pessimistic?
Yeah, many years. Many years. This is what they have been telling the Nigerian public. And nothing has happened. So why would this one be different?
Okay, if you have the listening ears.
Why should we trust this IG?
Okay, let's take it this way now. If you have the listening ears of the president and the IG, what will you ask them to do? Because we are in a dilemma now in the country. We need these policemen to police the general environment for the safety and welfare of all. So what will you advise them to do? Because I think we have lamented again and again, yes.
Oh, sure. These leaders, they are operating in a state of fear. Withdrawing the police from them is as if you are stripping them naked. So it's impossible. That is what, just take it from me. It's impossible.
So what should we do?
All these leaders, none of them can go and sleep in his village.
Okay, what is the solution finally from you? What should be the solution? Because we have to move on, yes.
Government, the only solution is that more youth should be recruited into the Nigerian police.
Okay. All right. What is your name, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. The name before you leave.
Thank you very much.
The name before you leave. The name. Your name, please.
My name is Jacob Azi from Jos.
Okay, Mr. Jacob. Okay. More recruitment. But I think this is another elephant in the room. During Buhari, he said 10,000 every year. I don't want to exaggerate, but I don't also want to implicate myself. But I don't think if they have done it more than 3 times.
You know, Hamza, this thing has to be, for me, I don't want to debate the theory of this stuff, because that's what analysts do, that's what we have been doing. No democracy can survive when ordinary citizens live in fear.
Are not secured. So security must
It's paramount.
All right. We have another caller. Hello, welcome.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, you are welcome. Who is on the line?
Yes, sir. This is Abacha Ibrahim I'm calling from Akpa, Kogi State.
Kogi. Okay. How safe is your location, Abubakar?
Yes, sir. You see?
I said, how safe are you?
Sir, you see, I'm calling from Akpa. I'm Abacha Ibrahim. I don't believe in. Sir, I want to hit a point to you. I don't believe in too much grammar. I don't believe in big grammar.
Okay, then go ahead.
What the person you are listening on television, what he's saying, but he said the right thing.
Okay.
You see, our problem, the Nigerian problem, did not just start overnight. The problem it started ever before now, for a long time.
So how do we remedy it instead of lamentation? How do we remedy the problem?
Yes, sir. What am I trying to say?
Go ahead, Abubakar. His line, I think we lost him because it was echoing.
Yeah.
Yes, but then we have another one. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, good evening and welcome to Daily Politics.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, we are with you.
I want to speak on the same program.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. God bless that gentleman that I'm seeing in the program.
Okay, Dr. Moses Paul, yes.
Thank you.
He has said it all. The major problem, that man has just said it. Now, one, if the children of the minister, the governors, the president are kidnapped, the situation of this country will not remain in this form we are seeing now.
Sorry, I cannot mention my name. I am Daniel Ogbonnia. I'm
Okay.
calling you from Lagos State.
Okay, thank you.
Now, finally, the president has made an announcement. What is the punishment against those policemen that are following VIP? He has said that he withdraw the policeman from the VIP. If he has made a pronouncement, any policeman that will start with any VIP to be dismissed. Then the situation, the police will not go to that same place again. You have said from about 10 ID have made that same pronouncement. You start no sanction. So let that be sanction. Any policeman they saw with VIP to be dismissed. It will stop. God bless you, Raj.
Thank you, Daniel. Yes, quickly.
Yes.
As I said, we just have to find a solution because we've been lamenting since the very day.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think they can quickly, recruit police, military, and all that? Because I think we have the youths, right?
But Hamza, for me, the policy could have, any policy, even like this one, is a welcome idea. The problem is the implementation.
So how do we implement
if you withdraw police people, security people from VIPs and you deploy them to the citizens, if the public safety overrides individual privileges, Nigeria will be safe. If you're strengthening institutional framework around security, like ensuring that you withdraw these people and it does not compromise national security, you have some measures of growth. If you do not politicize this, we must be careful. Let it not be that you are withdrawing security from opposition leaders
to expose them,
to intimidate them, to ensure that, just like we are seeing.
So talking about the institutional framework, meaning that we have to amend some of our laws, because if you check the Police Act, it also provides, security for certain people, maybe the governor, local government chairman, and what have you. But if you look at it now, legislators who are not captured, I think.
Well,
now they have the large chunk. The countries you travel, you see senators, House of Reps members with police accompanying them? Or
is it just that? I know that if somebody who is a big man,
that is in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
But is it the same thing maybe in some of these countries? Maybe if you go to US, is it the same thing?
I can give you practical examples. I was in Indonesia a few months ago. The Minister of Health runs with just one car. In fact, Hamza, I was shocked that you're asking me this because we had a meeting in Nigerian House where the Minister of Health, the ambassadors, and other high dignitaries. When we finished the meeting, I saw the ambassador just took a bike and left. The minister went into his car with zero security, just him and his driver. And you're asking me this now, and I'm just wondering that in some of the places I've traveled to, mayors of countries, they walk alone on the street. Because if you provide security for the public, then even the individuals will be covered.
All right, I have just one more minute, which we should. In Hausa, they said, "Doki me baki yafi gudu," meaning that the horse of the, talkative, runs faster. I don't want to call you a talkative, but then as a politician, outside, you give prescription and all that. Maybe going forward. What do you stand to offer? For instance, if you have the opportunity to say, okay, you are the maybe chairman of the local government or a member of the House of Reps, what thing can you do differently that will actually align with the expectation of the people?
You see, if Nigerians find me worthy and I become the chairman come February.
Even though it's not platform for campaign.
This is no campaign. This has to do with real issues of our lives. I've been here for about 40 years. I've enjoyed, and my first degree is in geography. There's what we call the geography of the FCT. I've gone around. The FCT is a study for me, so I understand AMAC. The issues that I'm talking about has nothing to do. These are real issues And I'm saying, and Hamza, I'll give you...
Because we want it to be seen as prescription, because you have 30 seconds. Yes.
This is practical. And I can tell you, like I said, the people that are kidnapping, some of these bandits and all, they are within the ages of 18 and 35. This is the energy of the nation, but it is not being attended to.
So instead of neutralizing all the time, we should have another option.
You should convert this energy. I'm going to have people in farms. Hamza does not have a farm.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to...
I hope we have more time, Dr. Moses.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much for coming to the program. Sure, we will invite you for another conversation, because we have to find a solution.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Yes. And viewers, that's a wrap on today's package on insecurity and the way forward. Join us on Sunday for Sunday Politics, and then on Monday, another edition of Daily Politics. From here, I'm Hamza Idris. Goodbye.